she loved it like that because, you know, it felt good to her to have it like that.
Hi guys! In this video I am going to discuss my facial feminization surgery. If you're new to this channel, my name is Claire and I am a transgender female. I created this channel 10 years ago to kind of serve as a diary to document my transition. I stopped making videos I think around 6 years ago because my transition kind of hit a wall and it wasn't going where I wanted it to go. I think I briefly touched on the fact that I wanted facial feminization surgery. If you are unfamiliar with what facial feminization is, for the most part, facial feminization surgery is for transgender people, specifically transgender women. A lot of transgender women go under the knife to get this procedure done. Basically, it is meant to feminize the face. For me, it was shaving down the angles of my face, so my bones were shaven down and my trachea was shaven down as well. So I'm going to talk about all the procedures that I got done. I also kind of wanted to include a visual if I can in this video, and I will link a very spot on video of what it is and kind of the procedures that I got done that I found a few years ago. If you're still confused, go down in the description below, click on the link. I also wanted to make this video because I hit my 10-year anniversary of transition this month in December. Never really thought that I could get this done because it is very expensive. You know, it could be upwards of 100K, 120K with the right doctor. So I kind of just put it out of my head and thought I would never get it done. Let's fast forward to the first surgery that I got done because I had to split it up because of the cost. I went to Dr. Vartan Martirosyan, which is honestly one of the best doctors for this procedure. When you're getting this done, I highly recommend going to someone who's specialized because this is specifically, I think, more for trans people, and if you don't go to someone specialized, I fear that you may not get the results that you're looking for. So that was my first intention with choosing a surgeon, was to go to someone specialized. He was well known in my community, and I joined a Facebook group years ago that was specifically for facial feminization, and it kind of includes surgeons, procedures, any question that you have, this group on Facebook answered. And he also has an Instagram page full of pictures of all of his surgeries, just turning out the dolls. So yeah, my first surgery was in August of 2021, and it was my forehead reduction or brow bone shave. Basically what I got done was I got my hairline rounded and my forehead kind of skin pulled back, the sinus cavity taken out, shaven down, put back into my head, and then reinforced with screws. I used to have a brow ridge. Cis women do have a brow ridge, and I was very aware of that, but I felt very uncomfortable with mine and was so aware of lighting. Just anywhere I went, I was so insecure with the overhead lighting. Like going to the restaurant, going out to dinner, going to like the grocery store. Grocery stores notoriously have overhead lighting, and I hated it. After the forehead procedure, I don't think about lighting. It is such a shift in my life. I can't even explain how much of a confidence boost the forehead surgery was for me. So yeah, and front on, I mean, that first surgery I saved up for, and I also had people in my life that were able to help. I'm very grateful that I had people in my life and still have people in my life that were able to help and get me across the finish line for the surgery. Yeah. But the second surgery I wanted to get done, you know, of course, all my money went to the first surgery. I was trying to figure out how to fund the rest of my face, which is my jawline and my trachea shape. Insurances are notoriously, they vary state by state, but if you didn't know, because I was in this Facebook group, the one big thing I learned was certain companies have a nationwide insurance. So meaning whatever state you live in, if you work at this company, the insurance coverage is the same. Those companies can include Starbucks, T-Mobile, Apple, I think IKEA. If you have to make some lattes to get the mug done, babe, I'm so grateful that that exists and that I was able to figure that out. What I also got done with the brow bone reduction was he rounded out my hairline at the corners. This measurement he said was good, like he didn't want to go any lower. I love a long forehead. I just wanted mine to be flat. I wish I was the candidate for the in the hair, a coronal, I think is what it's called, incision, but I wasn't, because you kind of have to have a short forehead or a smaller forehead to get that incision, because when he stitches you back up, it kind of tugs your skin and it makes your forehead longer. So I had to do an incision from this ear to that ear, and then the scar was kind of, it's more exposed on the hairline. It has healed wonderfully, by the way. It has taken a long time to heal, but I'm happy with where it's at. Let's fast forward to the second round of surgeries. I wanted to get my chin done coupled with my trachea, and that was very costly, more costly than the first one because of how invasive I guess this one was. Basically what I got done was a sliding genioplasty, which is where he took the middle portion of my chin out, slid it together, and then also slid my chin forward to give more projection from the side. He also shaved the corners of my jaw to make it smaller and softer, and then also shaved down my trachea, which that's a given. The second round was done in May of 2022, so I got these surgeries within a year, and it was a long healing process. This is why I'm making this video 3 years later, because from my first surgery, because honestly it has taken this long to heal. I had so much swelling, I had so much bruising. The worst and most painful surgery was by far the sliding genioplasty in my chin. I had an incision in my mouth, so I have no, visible scar for my jaw. I had stitches for like, I would say 2 months. It was the most painful thing. I could not eat normally for, about 2 months. It was very excruciating. And then I also remember waking up and being in the most intense pain that I've ever felt coming out of surgery. There was so much swelling and my mouth was filling up with fluid and I couldn't breathe. It was kind of scary, but if I had to say one procedure that makes me feel the most cisgender or biologically female is the chin shave. I feel like this is such a feminine trait, is a rounder, smaller chin. I also want to talk about what has changed since I've had the procedure done. I can't really describe like the feeling of having so much anxiety about my face and then afterwards that being completely alleviated. It just makes me so emotional to think about how far I've come from the very beginning of my transition to now, because like I said, I didn't think this was ever possible for me. If I can find pictures of before and afters, I will include them in this video to kind of show you how much of a difference this has made for my face. I was hesitant making this video because I know that there's still so much stigma attached to plastic surgery. It was a long time ago. It was nearly 10 years ago when I talked about my first round of surgeries. I remember getting a lot of hate back then. People thinking that they have ownership over how you should look. Yeah, I'm hoping that this video does get a good response and that there isn't any negativity, but I want to say that, this is not a fix-all procedure. I still have to do kind of the mental work along with it, and I've had to do the mental work along with it because when you have so much anxiety of people, I guess, finding out that you're trans and getting procedures that kind of help alleviate that. That feeling is still going to be there, and I've had to kind of work on that, that feeling of thinking that everyone knows. I think eventually I'm going to get a therapist and fully work through this. And I think all of you that have watched my videos in the past and from the very beginning when I started posting about my transition, it was the people that watched me in the very beginning and gave me the support that I needed that really helped me for so many years feel confident and feel like I had this kind of little community that I could go to and vent to. And also anyone new that's watching this, thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something new. But yeah, I hope you have a good one, and if you want me to make more videos discussing anything else trans related, or kind of maybe a 10-year transition update, maybe I can do that too. But for now, thank you for watching.